Welcome in, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of The Blueprint. We want to welcome y'all in. Today, we're going to get into some things about flipping houses and the, basically the current state of our economy and everything with the government shutdown. Uh, First, I want to take the time out to introduce myself. My name is Dion. This here is my wife, Felicia. And
Man,
that's all I got. I laid you down, you know what I'm saying? What is it?
today we are going to talk about trying to sell our first flip during the government shutdown. And so we came into this blindsided, not knowing there was going to be a government shutdown. And to our surprise, it has been a, I guess I would say, a interesting experience. We will start off by talking about what our vision was for the flip and what we expected, and just kind of talk about where we are now. So let's talk about what our vision was. When we first started this flip, what would you say your vision was?
Mm, well, it wasn't necessarily my vision. It was your vision. But, for me, I was just thinking about, of course, the investment part of it, just making some money, and also, too, just being able to improve the neighborhood and community and stuff like that. That's pretty much it for me.
So I think I was the one who stumbled across the home. We purchased the home off the MLS on the market, and the house was relatively cheap for most homes that are being sold now. So I think we purchased the home, or they were listing the home for 87,000, and it was a 3-1. So immediately when we saw that, we were excited, and the house, we went and looked at the house, and the house had good bones, which means that it wasn't really falling apart. It was something that you could work with, and so we immediately, put in an offer, and started to think about what we could do, like he said, to this home, but not only to this home, to this community. The community is a lower income community. It's actually the community that he and I both grew up in. So we wanted to bring life to this property. This was our baby, and we wanted to be hands on. So this was really near and dear to us. This particular project, and we had a lot of visions from the start. So I guess let's talk about some of our visions that we had from the start.
What you mean, vision?
So for the project, so as far as like enhancing and flipping, rehabilitating the property.
So you mean like just like inside work or like
Yeah.
what you mean?
Yeah, not going as far as into where we saw it going as far as like selling for it and everything, just how we wanted to bring that property to life.
Yeah. So, we wanted to bring that property to life. We currently and in the past been watching different little home makeover shows.
Shout out to the Polites.
Shout out to the Polites. We kind of copycat a little bit off of, a few ideas off of them because, they have a pretty unique style on how they like to go into a house and pretty much open it up and decorate it and add value to the house with the different styles and everything that they add to a home, whether it be adding a bathroom or adding an accent wall or a farmhouse sink or whatever like that. Which my wife, she pretty much came up with all those different aspects of adding to the house. The only thing I really kind of envisioned with it, I just wanted to make sure the house was buttoned up. So making sure there was no cracks in the foundation, make sure the windows was energy efficient, which kind of help you save on your utility bills. Also, too, we seen that the roof needed to be replaced, so I just wanted to make sure we had a new roof. So just basically making sure that the house was buttoned up and people was able to save money on the utilities and stuff like that just because the house was taken care of on the outside first, because that's the first place you want to attack when you rehabbing the house. You want to make sure the house is buttoned up, the foundation is right, the roof, the windows, the doors. You want to make sure that stuff is buttoned up. So air and water and all that stuff won't come inside the house and ruin the house.
Right. So one thing you mentioned was enhancing a home and making sure that it is, I guess, stable. It has quality, if I'm using the right words, the stability of certain features of a home. Those are the major,
Yeah,
what do you
good
know?
foundation. You
Yeah.
want to make sure it's sturdy, good foundation, and yeah, pretty much.
And so with that, just to add to that, you do have to have the financial piece of that. You have to have the financial means to be able to either upgrade those features, those major aspects of a home, or you're going to do what some investors do, which is cut corners. And we came into this wanting to add value not only for ourselves but for the potential home buyer. And so, of course, that means coming to the table with a strong budget, strong financial, backing to make sure that we could complete the job. We did have a budget set, and we got this budget from watching TV. And of course, there's a lot that goes on, behind the scenes that we weren't aware of. So I could say maybe we were a little bit, maybe naive or whatever, as to truly what to expect, truly knowing what prices are in the industry. And
The
we
prices are to like repair certain projects. So like, what's the median for repairing the kitchen, full gut on the bathroom, replacing the whole roof? We just didn't know the true cost for that compared to seeing what it may cost on TV on a TV show or in a particular area, their particular market or whatever like that.
to add to that, time is money, so we didn't have a lot of time to shop around to find the best price because you got two things working against you. You got time and you got money. And so you kind of have to decide, whether I'm gonna go ahead and take that leap or I'm gonna continue to waste weeks trying to find that perfect price. So we were able to find contractors that were readily available and able to work within our budget. We did want to be hands on, and we do want to talk about um, the way that we actually went about our project, which was separating labor from supplies. I don't think this is something that most people do when they're flipping homes. I think they just pay the contractor for labor and supplies and let them do what they have to do. But we actually went about it a totally different way, which is content for a totally different day. But it was, I guess I could say, very interesting. But it was something that we enjoyed doing because we learned a lot from doing it that way.
And this is our first flip.
Yep.
This is our first flip. So have some patience with us, but this is our first flip. Um, like she said, just being able to separate the labor from the materials, we got to learn, so much stuff like how basically, basically just knowing how to basically do the job, actually. We know how tile is supposed to be installed. We know
We know what type of tiles to
tiles put,
pick.
yeah,
We didn't know that. We didn't know that tiles have different sizes, and so the bigger sizes will be less time
yeah,
consuming.
and less price, cost
Yep.
price. Also, too, how to install cabinets and vinyl siding. We just got to learn a lot.
Pieces that you need for the cabinets.
Yeah,
Um, just every little detail we were able to learn during this process of separating labor from supplies because we actually had to go buy our own supplies and we found out what each supply, how it works and what you needed and the pricing, and then being that it was separate from the labor, we were kind of able to add in the two. So it was like, oh, okay, we paid this amount of money, we paid him this for the labor. Now we kind of have an idea of the total cost. So when we move along in our journey, we have an idea of if what the price should be to have a certain project completed.
yeah. Can't get over on us now.
Can't get over on this.
Can't get over on us
And
because we
that's
know.
and that's one thing I always talk to my clients as a consultant about is learning how to oversee every aspect of anything that you're doing. You don't actually have to do everything, and people shouldn't think that they have to do every job in their business, but you want to be familiar, you want to be aware of how things operate so that you can oversee it and people can't get over on you. So in a nutshell, our vision was just to bring this property to life. Low income neighborhood, house has good bones. We saw the potential and
Modernize
modernize the home and be
it.
hands on. So now let's talk about where we are now in the process.
Well, you want to tell them what all we did to the house?
Yeah, we can do that. That's
Yeah, yeah. So
oof,
what?
we
Yeah.
did a
So
lot.
basically, we built a brand new house from an old house. We went into the house. We basically opened up the floor plan to make it an open floor plan. From there, we redid the bathroom, giving it a new look. Instead of that plastic tub look, we put tile in the shower tub, new vanity, new toilets. We also, in the kitchen, we added an island in there once we opened up the floor plan, and we put in new cabinets, stuff like that. We just gave it a whole new look, to the whole project.
You talk about the outside too, because the outside looks amazing.
Oh yes, the outside. Mainly, what everybody loves about this particular house is the landscaping and the curb appeal. So with the landscaping, we found somebody, really good pricing. He was able to come knock it out in a day. Um, it really matches our vinyl color that we picked, and it's with the stain porches and everything. It really does pop. But we added new vinyl siding with the new roof and a screened-in porch, stain porches. So the house really does pop.
As we mentioned, we were very hands on with the project as far as the separating labor and supplies. We had our accountant to create us a budget tracker so that we could keep track of every dime that was spent. We did end up going over our budget by about, was it 40,000?
No,
Oh,
not that much.
30,000.
Don't make us look that bad. Yeah, it was an undisclosed amount. But, with us, we want to make sure that, the next person that buys this house doesn't have to do anything to this house for a very long time. So, with them getting new ceiling joists, basically like sheetrock all over the house, all throughout the house and ceilings, and like I said, new windows, new doors, also to new plumbing, new electric, and everything. All it's fully uh, installed with appliances and everything. So basically, this person is basically like really getting a new rehab house.
Yeah, which most people don't, most investors, they don't do. They cut corners, they actually just patch things up and then they put it on the market. For us, everything that the contractor showed us, and which we always had an option to be able to just bypass it or patch it up, we wanted to fix it and make it right. For us, we want people to be able to come into a home, as he said, and have value, long term stability. As we mentioned, this home is in a low income neighborhood, so most people that get into this home probably have just enough money to get into the home, and they won't have any type of backup emergency funding to fix a patchy roof, to fix a floor that's sinking in. To get a new upgrade to an HVAC, any of those things that we already positioned them to
Yeah,
have when
because
they moved in. So homes are expensive. Everybody knows that now. I mean, 200,000 is affordable. It's considered affordable, and that's a lot of money. And so typically, that's all people have. To really, they don't have it, but that's like the most that they can get financed, and that's a lot. That's all they have. After that, they don't have anything. They credit probably is at its max, so they can't borrow. And that's another thing. With this, what we put into this home will allow them to build equity in the home. They won't have it immediately, but they will have it within 2 to 5 years to where they can borrow against their home. And now, guess what? They won't have to use that money to fix a leaky roof or a sinking floor. That's money that they can use maybe to put their kids through college, or if they have some type of medical emergency or whatever have you. So we aren't looking at our flips as just for us to gain. We want the potential buyers to gain as well. So it's just kind of a community effort It also enhances the neighborhood. So when you do more than just the normal or just the average, it brings value to these neighborhoods. And so it's a new concept, I think. Most of the homes in the neighborhood have not been upgraded. They sell the homes, they don't do any updates. It keeps the value in the neighborhood low. But when we bring value to those neighborhoods and people pay a little bit more, it adds value to the neighborhood overall. I told you I can go live. So
Yeah, I couldn't even hopscotch in there
I'm
with
sorry.
you. I was like, oh man. Now I forgot what I was gonna say.
Lord. So my next was where we are now in the process.
Yeah, so when we finished the project, like we said, nice, beautiful house. We put it on the market, with an agent we worked with in the past. Um, with doing so, currently right now, the house has been on the market for what, 24,
26
26,
days.
26 days? And, we done had a few people look at it and everything. I think at the current state of the economy and just the way things are, she's currently said with just with finances and everything, I think everybody just worried about busting a move, because buying a house is your biggest purchase, so everybody's worried about, should I buy a house right now? The government shut down, uh, losing government funding and stuff like that. So I maybe should sit tight, see what the government gonna do and everything like that. So I do feel like that's playing a part in with getting the house sold. I still feel like the house can sell, but just right now, just houses are sitting a little bit longer than normal. So I just know we got to play the patient game a little bit, but sometimes with having patience, you can lose money in the process too. So you have to be creative uh, with trying to get your house sold. Which my wife, she has ideas and basically on things you can do to overcome, the house sitting, just basically like getting the house sold, like staging the house and stuff like that.
So I wanna is it rewind it? Y'all wanna rewind it back. So when you mentioned that we listed our home with the agent, I want to talk about why we decided to go that route. Because when we initially started out, we were going to list our home on the MLS through an agent, but we were going to represent ourselves. And we decided last minute to interview a few agents to find out, how long houses were currently sitting on the market for both. I did research on both agents to see how quick they move homes, what type of homes they sell, what price range they sell the homes in. And then we decided to move forward with the agent. We decided to move forward with the agent 100% because of the connection. So we were hoping that an agent would have a database of potential buyers that were looking for homes within certain price ranges. I knew that we have databases from our businesses, but we don't necessarily have just solely people that are, looking for homes because we operate other businesses. So we decided to move forward with the agent, hoping that the connections that they would have with investors and also with potential buyers would help us to be able to move the home quicker. One thing that we did mention in our vision was we wanted to be able to flip the home in, how many, what did I say, 50 days at the beginning?
Nah, you said 30
30
days, and
days.
I was just like, no,
Was it 30?
no, it was
It was
45.
45 days.
Yeah, and I said 60.
And we wanted to be able to, this may be unrealistic, but sell the home within 30 days as well. So,
Yeah, we still got time.
and we still got time. We at day 26, so stay tuned.
Hmm. Yeah.
So we decided to go that route due to the connections that we thought would help us to move the home quicker. But to our surprise, the government shut down, probably because I think the government shutdown has been actually, what did they say now?
34 days.
34 days. So that actually kind of shook up our plans a bit, because now, like you said, everybody's kind of frantic about losing their food stamps, and some people are losing health services through Medicaid, and within our own community, there's other issues with our local school system. So there's a lot going on locally that has impacted what we thought currently, was the trend for the market. We are on day 26 of trying to sell our home. We are trying to get the word out to people about first time buyers. As we've mentioned, we are trying to talk to people about purchasing basically a home that's been rebuilt. A lot of people are solely looking at numbers, and that has been driving us crazy. They will just look at comps, is what they call them, and they will compare our homes to other homes that do not have the same value. So we have been struggling with that. That has been an obstacle, and it drives us crazy. We also have the realtor reaching out to investors who are looking for, which I don't know, it's crazy to me, but they're more looking for the now profit. Most investors are long term. They kind of know that building wealth is a long term game versus short term. And so with me having or being an enrolled agent and tax advisor, I'm kind of big on tax strategizing and using real estate to be able to, help you to reduce liability or to help you to build wealth. And so we're trying to get that information out to people with all the other noise that's going on.
Yeah, so yeah, because I just feel like with investors, especially in that particular area or in low income areas, they pretty much want something for nothing. And I understand that because, like she said, they, want to see a profit now. It's not really wanting to wait to see profit, you know, and they have a right to that, but we just feel like, you know, with this particular property and other properties in the community that may be rehabbed or whatever like that, we just feel like it may be a good fit because, you know, this is a time right now, if people are not buying houses, that means they're renting. So for an investor, it'd be a good idea to maybe buy a house and immediately start renting it out because this is a turnkey property. So, it's ready to go. People can move in right away. So we just feel like, it's a good it's a good
Opportunity.
home run for an investor.
Right. And really, we've mentioned the pros and the advantages for first time home buyer and then the pros and the advantages for an investor. And I did want to add to your point with the investor. You mentioned it being turnkey, ready to move in, but it also being that it's in a low income area that is considered an opportunity zone, which means that you have perks, meaning that when it comes time to sell this property, you may not have to pay taxes on it. If you hold it for 10 years, you can sell it and you don't have to pay any gains on it. So this is a huge, huge deal, especially when you're talking about investors and money, but the ones that are savvy enough to know that this is a long term gain, as it pertains to being able to be profitable from it. So just getting that information out there as much as we can. Oh, yeah. So what would we like to see? So we're at day 26.
I'd like to see an offer in the next five
24 hours
minutes.
exactly.
Next 5 minutes, somebody put in the offer. Like I said, we done had a couple of people come look at the house. Some people seek lending to see if they can get approved for the house. So, we done had a few people look at the house and have interest in the house.
I,
We just
I do want to add something to this, and it may have been something I should have added previously. But one thing that I want to talk about is right quick, it's totally going left. Is
also
that
you cut me all the way off.
yes,
Oh,
is that when people come into a home, because I started thinking about it as you were talking, what you would like to see. But I want people to be educated on the home buying process. I want them to know what to look for, what's important and what ain't important. We've had feedback about storage, and it's like, I get it, you paying 200 some $1,000 for a home, but you got a new roof, and they need to understand the value of a new roof, the value of a new foundation, the value of what I'm saying, versus a closet, sort of say. You know what I'm saying? And how you can work around those things. And seriously, because there was a time where I wouldn't have known. I would have came in the house and my main concern would have been maybe the paint, on the walls. And this,
that was funny though. You talking about some, but I ain't got nowhere to put my tie. But you got a new roof though,
yeah,
for real.
you got to tell them, you got to break it down, because guess what? When you go to borrow money, they're looking at the value of the roof, not the is there a closet? You know what I'm saying? So you really got, and the thing of it is, I remember when we first started the process of buying a home, and the mortgage lender told me, get a home, sturdy bones that you can fix up, and then you can use this home as leverage to purchase your dream home. And so these are the types of conversations that need to be had with first time home buyers, people that are just starting out. It's like, look, this home, when you go to sell it in 2 to 5 years,
She finna preach. Go ahead.
you'll be able to get X amount of dollars versus you worrying about storage space, and to each his own. But sometimes a little education can go a long ways.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. But anyway, you said that you would like to see the home being sold within the next 5 minutes, and which I agree. Um, what type of person do you see in this home? What type of buyer?
For this particular home, this particular area, so basically, either someone that's elderly, I feel like this would be a good fit for them, or if it's a young family, just husband and wife with just one kid or 1 to 2 kids, first time home buyers and stuff like that, you know, I feel like this would be a great fit for them. Or even like you always like to say, your favorite thing with the nurse finders and everything, because this house is 3 minutes from the highway. So basically, we probably about 8 9 minutes from Atrium Health, and maybe like 10 minutes from Forsyth Hospital. So and Haynes Mall area. So it's pretty close to anywhere you need to get, quickly because we're so close to the highway. So yeah.
Um, what did I ask you? What type of buyer? um, yeah, for me, I see a single person. Definitely,
Forgot about that.
um, yeah, definitely somebody that may be trying to downsize. So, like you said, not necessarily elderly, but well, yeah, elderly. It just sounds harsh, but a senior that's needing.
So is we're senior or elderly?
Elderly sound bad. It sounds sick
Elderly.
to me,
Let's see.
but I guess
Senior.
that's right.
Oh, you can say old, cause
No,
people
don't
hate
say that.
old.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Say I'm gonna just say senior citizen.
Or older person.
Yeah, older person,
Alright.
older couple, or a single person that may be a little older in age that needs a cozy home, a cozy, comfortable home, so it's not too big. It's
Mm-hmm.
tucked in. You got to worry about running around the house. You hear a little noise. Because all the rooms right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's nice. They know that it's sustainable. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to worry about anything within the next few years. Also, maybe a single parent, somebody that's, or I mean, it could be a small family, like you said, just a husband and wife and one kid.
Yeah.
But somebody that, to me, it's somebody's out there for the home. Um, just somebody that needs a little compact, cute home that is modernized and it's up to date. What's next? So what do we have next to come
What you mean?
with the property? With the once that's done, once that's closed, what's next?
Well, after this, I'm buying America. I'm going back to buying land.
Yes, sir.
Going back to buying land.
So we got 2 lots now, and it's not all this the headache. It's not all the headache that goes into rehabbing a home as of
Well,
yet.
well, it was a headache for rehabbing the home because we separated the supplies from the labor.
True,
So
and we were
basically,
hands on.
we was hands on. So we might be at Lowe's or Home Depot, and we the contractor like, yeah, get this type of grout, and it's to say this, do that. You just like, man, I don't see it, man. Say this and say that.
Mm-hmm.
And then certain stuff have certain colors, and you might want to, like, when it comes to painting the house, it might look good at Lowe's, but you need to paint it on a swatch or something like that so you can really see how it is. So yeah, but what was your question again?
What's next to come? So
Next to
with the
come?
project, so
Oh
you
yeah,
say you're gonna buy America.
nah, but
You're gonna focus on land.
all seriousness though, yeah. So basically what I want to do is, sell the house and repeat the process.
Mm-hmm.
Start on the next project, see if we can get us an off market deal,
Yep.
and continue to basically like uplift these communities and stuff like that, and see if we can bring value to these low income areas and stuff because we don't do it. I don't know if I can say this or not, but the government just gonna be slow on doing it. So,
And it won't be for us.
it won't be
They'll
for
do it and they'll
yeah,
kick all the people
yeah.
out.
So we trying to do it as much as we can, giving people a nice place to stay, a place that looks good, that's modernized, up to date. But yeah, that's my next. How about you?
Um, Going through this process, I learned a lot. Certain things that I wasn't prepared for. So, for me in my mind, I thought you would bring value to a property and then people would just get it. So I guess I would say educating people more about the home buying process, about being able to build wealth.
Well, what's some of the reasons why a house might sit though?
So I would like to see, people educated more about building wealth and understanding what that looks like and what you have to do to be able to build it because we don't know. A lot of times we just think about, like you said, buying land or, maybe fixing and flipping. But some people start out just with their own home. That's how they start. They get into real estate with their very own home. I'm going to keep you guys posted. Hopefully we sell this house today. But if not, we're going to tell you what's going on, where we are in the process. We really hope we don't have that content. But if we do, y'all stick around. Thank you guys for watching us. Be sure to subscribe and like. I ain't no following over here, right?
I don't know.